Hello, good evening. A priest who's now been revealed to have been a paedophile was allowed to serve at a church in St Leonard's despite being convicted of possessing a handgun. Father Ronald Glazebrook died in 2001 after he was punched by one of his victims of abuse, Christopher Honeysett. 12 days ago, Mr Honeysett was acquitted of murdering Ronald Glazebrook after serving 9 years in jail. Our Home Affairs correspondent Colin Campbell has this exclusive report.
A priest with a history of misconduct, Ronald Glazebrook should, it seems, never have been allowed to work in East Sussex. Despite this, he was given permission to help at this church in St Leonards-on-Sea in 1983, even after he had received a criminal conviction for possessing a handgun.
We are very concerned indeed, of course, for all those who turn out to be the victims of Ronald Glazebrook. But I need to say that as far as this diocese is concerned, we have no knowledge, and had no knowledge as far as I can tell, in terms of any information about his past.
Although the Church of England may not have known he was a predatory paedophile, they should have realised he was a man who posed a significant risk. He used his position to target Christopher Honeysett, who was then a 15-year-old altar boy.
Christopher, have you got anything to say at all? It's 8 years in prison.
I'd prefer not to comment, thank you.
Christopher was acquitted of murdering Ronald Glazebrook at Lewes Crown Court on the 17th of September. The jury decided he'd been abused by the priest. Another victim in his 70s also revealed how Glazebrook had repeatedly sexually assaulted him back in the 1940s when he was 13.
He then told me about the abuse, and it was just horrendous.
Speaking via video phone from her home now in the south of France, Christopher Honeysett confided in former teacher Christine Baxter before Ronald Glazebrook's death.
But I do believe that somebody should have investigated further. And if they did investigate further and they found out what had been going on, or had been going on perhaps in Glazebrook's past, then I don't think that Christopher should have been charged at all.
But after his death, the police say no allegations of sexual abuse by Ronald Glazebrook were made to them. Detectives were informed of rumours he'd abused children at a school in Rhodesia in the 60s. All the material was disclosed to Christopher's defence team. During his career, Glazebrook worked at schools, orphanages and churches around the world. He had constant access to children and vulnerable people.
It's claimed when Father Ronald Glazebrook turned up here in St Leonard's in 1983, he had already been suspended as a priest. The source, a former work colleague who wishes to remain anonymous, also told me that he could only continue working in churches if under the close supervision of other clergy.
The Church of England was unable to confirm or deny if he'd been suspended. Ronald Glazebrook's Church of England case file has now disappeared, possibly destroyed. A victim of abuse at the hands of clergy himself, Peter Saunders believes the Anglican Church needs to share all its darkest secrets.
We've dealt and heard from many institutions over the years who quite mysteriously and very worryingly lose records that would actually probably would point a finger at people who are responsible for allowing these people to carry on abusing.
But why was Glazebrook allowed to work here in St Leonard's when his reputation was already seriously tarnished? It's believed he was suspended as a priest in the 1970s. In the same decade, it surfaced he'd developed an inappropriate relationship with a woman with mental health issues. Around the same time, using the false name of Victor Glazebrook, he became involved in the pornographic magazine industry. On top of this, we've also learned he was arrested and convicted for illegally having a gun in 1980.
We know already that he did have more than just a single victim. Most people who abuse children will have abused many children throughout their lives.
And with Ronald Glazebrook's case file now missing, it seems only his victims will ever be able to shine a light on the crimes he committed. Colin Campbell, BBC South East Today, Hastings.